On January 29th, 2020, on our short stay in Sydney, Australia, my friend Hubert and I bellied up to the chef's counter for dinner at this place called LuMi Dining. Chef Federico Zanellato's casual yet professional glass-encased waterfront location is studded with pendant lights, the Italian translation for LuMi, and it's held its two chef's hat status since 2014. The chef's menu here is straightforward with a few options for caviar and Wagyu supplements, more on that later. First here though, a Negroni for me to start. This is always kind of the point of the counter-style meals where I geek out at the kitchen setups and quirks. I love watching this stuff. First up, this is an Italian guncon, the oval-shaped uni-topped presentation that you would expect, but buffalo mozzarella inside. This was insanely rich and fatty for a first course, but the briny fat versus the lactic fat actually really played well off one another, and it held up structurally as well. Here is a rye tostada, macadamia cream, dressed crab, shaved kombu. More of a Japanese and Mexican combo here, but a super tasty one-biter to snack on next to the water. Next up, this one is a baked brick pastry, tuna tartare on top, dressed with wasabi cream and crispy shiso. Nothing new on the flavor side of things, but selecting the perfectly one-biter sized shiso leaves and dressing the tuna just right so that it didn't get soggy had me really impressed on the execution of this snack. This next one's a tart of candied pumpkin, puree on the inside, seasoned with white miso. The seeds were caramelized, I'm guessing in oil to get that shatteringly sweet and salty perfection. I really enjoyed this bite because I'm a candied nut fanatic. The bite here is called taco. The outer shell is made from beets, inside a really creamy smoked trout mixed with mascarpone and then topped with chives. Again, really solid execution, great textures, but after having a tostada and a taco so far, I wasn't drawing as many Japanese or Italian influences as I expected. It's not a complaint, it's just an observation. Puff pastry pie with pork and shiitake in an XO style, chicken jus with cream on the side. They asked us to eat this with our hands, cross-section time. This was super filling, so I'm grateful that Hubert and I got to split it. Really solid transition into the heavier dishes. And these right here, the presentation of a wet towel for your hands that never gets old. Don't eat that. Lime and sambal dressed collar of Murray Cod here, grilled to get a touch of char on it. It was finger food as a gift from the kitchen, I'm almost sure, because it wasn't on the menu. Thanks, guys. I noticed the little things with presentations like this, like solid butchery and cooking technique, so we definitely cleaned the bones on this presentation. Next up, a sashimi presentation seasoned with nectarine, bonito, and ponzu. As pretty as this dish is, I could have done with one less layer, if that makes sense. Because everything was cut so big, you built a layered bite with all of the elements, which meant you essentially had the same mouthful 4 times. Solid flavor and seasoning nonetheless. This one was a stunner. Seasoned yellowfin tuna with crispy potato on top and seaweed. Whatever was in that dressing gave it the perfect seafood chips and dip style flavors with the briny pop of roe folded in. This didn't even need the caviar supplement to be impressive. Here's Anya Lodi with corn and parmesan, bay laurel oil in the middle. Eating these one at a time was the satisfyingly sweet and salty pop I was craving. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this was the first explicitly Italian course on the entire meal. I'm not counting the simple grilled fish and the use of buffalo mozzarella. Another cut from the Murray Cod came next. I ate this dish and just closed my eyes because I truly adore fish prepared like this. Meltingly tender with, in this case, citrus cooked down and a Beurre Blanc with sake kazu. Nothing revolutionary on the Japanese fusion side of things, but this is almost one of those retro throwbacks that's so satisfying to see prepared at this level of precision. We did opt for the Wagyu as a supplement, F2 breed from Alexander, Victoria, grilled and served with a spring onion from the Blue Mountains, chili lime kosho as a condiment, and some jus in the middle. Kind of a flex to serve such a long piece of beef with this consistent of a cook on the inside. I see you guys, I see you. With that dish in the books, that will do it for Savory Land. Moving on to the first sweet transition. Yes, this is the skin of a mango, but the top section is a sorbet that's been carved to make it look like actual mango flesh. Really fun presentation. Underneath is a lemon myrtle ice cream, cardamom, and finger lime. Most of you folks know I'm a mango fanatic, and this did not disappoint. And the camera died, so thank goodness for decent phone cameras, considering the lighting conditions. Bringing back buffalo milk here. This is served as an ice cream with toasted popcorn and coffee caramel underneath. Even with the preceding frozen course, this dish was so on point with flavor and texture. I still think about this one. Some small sweet snacks to finish. This first petit four is caramelized white chocolate seasoned with porcini powder, and then a slice of watermelon compressed in yuzu juice. Such a clutch move to end on a refreshing note. Oh, I spoke too soon. This is a steamed caramel custard. Nothing fancy, but always a textural marvel to see this done so well. Total for the two of us came to 436 Aussie. Do your own conversion at your leisure. I mean, look, looking back at this entire menu, call it Japanese, Italian, it's clear that the flavor influences are truly global at LuMi Dining. And in a city like Sydney, I think that's more than welcome. The level of execution was truly what made this meal cohesive as opposed to scattered, and the level of skill that the kitchen is crushing out is something to be applauded. One of you folks is actually working the line here, and it's always great to meet you folks in person. Thanks so much to the entire team for taking care of us. I know it's a weird time for restaurants right now, but I hope this video got you just as excited as I am to sit down for another meal. My name's Justin Khanna. Thanks as always for your attention, and I hope you have a good one.